In this video, I am making a fossil vase out of pug clay and fresh lavender. You can use any fresh foliage you want. I chose lavender from my garden. You place the flowers in the mold and then you cover it with pug clay. You repeat the process until you have a complete shell. After a few hours, you can pop it out of the mold. It needs to dry for a couple weeks. When your piece is completely dry and has no moisture, you can then have it fired. Once it's fired, the gray clay becomes a bright white, and it's called bisque. You can see the deep crevices left by the lavender stems and flowers and by the pieces of clay. I then start to paint it. I use Duncan underglazes called Concepts. I use several shades of blue and I work it deep into the crevices. I thin the glazes out with water and make a thin wash. I then paint the entire piece and start to wipe it back. When I wipe it back, the glazes stay in the crevices and the cracks. My sponge was a bit wet here and it was taking off too much glaze, so I actually went back and added some more glaze. I dried my sponge out and I worked a little more gently. I was too vigorous the first time. In the areas where the lavender was showing up, I took a little more glaze off because I'm going to paint those in greens and purples. Now it's time for the color of the lavender. I take a couple colors, usually 3 colors of the green, and I just paint them in, and with a wet brush I mix them. I went ahead and did the same with the purple. I always like to mix colors, not just use one. So that's the underglaze complete. That's all the color I'm going to put on it. I'm really liking how this turned out. I like that you can see the details in the lavender and the petals. I really like the colors in the lavender leaves. Now it's time for overglazing. I use a glaze by Duncan. I think it's called Tweed. It's a very pale cream color with a very light fleck in it. I cover the entire surface, making sure I really work it down into those deep crevices. It'll take 3 good coats of this glaze and then 1 more trip into the kiln before this project is finished. We're left with a glass-like, shiny finish that is waterproof and can hold a plant. I love making functional art. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And stay tuned for more creative projects. Have a great day. Bye.